So the next thing to do then is to create our second header. And we're going to start off creating that second header in our HTML section. And actually though, what we're going to do is move from our page to our front page, because this is only going to apply on our front page and on our blog page. So we have our header columns here. And actually what we need to do is create a new header column. So we'll just create a new container. And that container is going to be called, I don't know, big header, or header columns big. And let's just shift drag this up and drop it in that. Now let's give it an HTML class of header columns big. Go ahead and copy that for use later. And then I'm just going to drag header left and header right up into place. And drag the header columns off. Move header left up. Whoops, pardon me. Great. And just put header left inside of header right. Okay, header left and header right. And header left, we're going to create a new image for this. So let's create a new box. And it's going to be a text box. And that new box name will be header image big. Oops, I didn't hit shift. And I'm going to drag header image typical off of this. And then we'll go ahead and open up header big image big. Come back over here and insert a new image from our media library. And that's our large logo. So again, it'll say go back to our home page. And the Barking Chihuahua Cafe. We want to go to our home again. And we'll go ahead and let it be left aligned in our full size. We'll insert that into the post. Copy the HTML. Paste that HTML. And save the template. Now we need to do something with CSS here. We have our header columns typical. Now we'll create a new package. And it's going to be a columns package. And it's going to be header columns big. Whoops. Header columns big. And the CSS selector will be header columns big. And hit save. Yes, these videos, these introductory videos, will be available to the general public for free. So non-members will also be able to watch them, at least for the time being. Okay, so we've got our header columns big, and now we're going to change our options. Our column 1 option is going to be 436 pixels wide. And with a left alignment. Column, it's not going to have any padding. Column 2 is going to be auto. And it's also going to be left aligned. And it's not going to have any padding this time. So go ahead and hit save. And save and compile CSS. We refresh this. Now we've got our menu still works, right? We've got our big, it's not fun. Oh yeah, right, it's not a link because it's already there. But we've got our big logo here. Now I want to put a little bit of text down here below this. So I'm going to come back over to the HTML editor and I'm going to add another box. And this is going to be a text box. And it's going to be page intro text. And we'll add the box. And let's see, shift drag into place and then drag it down. Open it up. And now I've got this intro text sitting here already in my visual editor. Right, and I created welcome to the Barking Chihuahua Cafe, gave it a heading of 3, and then put this stuff in. So I'm going to come over and copy that from this HTML to that HTML. I am going to wrap this in paragraph tags, so which is something I couldn't get out of that. But now we've got our text. I'm going to give it an ID in this case of intro text. And I'm going to use that ID as our, let's see, I'm going to say page intro text. And I will be using this ID for styling it. Okay, go ahead and hit save to that. Save the template. Let's come over to CSS. We're going to create a new package, and this package again is going to be a single element style. So we'll add our package. The name will be front page intro text. The reference will be page intro text. The selector will be # page intro text. The options will be, the font size for this is going to be, let's see, 17. The font weight will be bold. I'm going to let Thesis figure out what the line height should be. I'm not going to do anything with the font variance or letter spacing. The text color is again going to be that brown color. And we're not going to do anything with a background. I am going to give myself a little bit of margin, I think. Give myself 20 pixels of left margin. And the typography is going to be 500 pixels wide. This way, what Thesis does is it will automatically calculate the right line heights and everything based on the font size, font style, and width using the golden ratio that Chris has. So we'll go ahead and hit save to that. And then I need to create one more, and that is going to be a style for the heading. So I'm going to come back over and create a new package. And whoops, let's cancel that for a second. Okay, we're going to make sure that we add this before I forget it. And then I'm going to add another one, and that's going to be heading. Okay, now we'll add our package. Front page intro heading. The reference will be that. The CSS selector will be # page intro text space H3 because that was the tag I used. In our options, the font setting is going to be larger. We're going to call it 24 pixels. And it's going to inherit everything else, except I think I want my text alignment to be centered, and I want a line height. I'm going to give a line height of 44 pixels. I'm going to calculate the line height myself here and hit save. We'll save this and compile it. Come back over and refresh this. Oh, and obviously I put it in the wrong spot. So let's get back over to HTML. Where did I put it? In header right, under well, that should be right. I haven't added the header columns big, he says. You know what? You're right, Julia. I didn't do that, did I? So you get to see by my sort of errors here how the process works. So I guess there's some benefit to watching me screw up. What is it? It is header columns big. Okay. Obviously, I've got something not quite right. I must header columns big. Header columns big. Header columns big. Options column 2 is auto. Okay, let's make this instead 500 pixels. Actually, let's look at it this way. 436. So my overall page is 959 pixels wide minus 436 pixels. That's 523 pixels. So let's do that. Let's make it 523 pixels and see what happens. Let's see. Header columns big. You know, it's going to be something really dumb too. I mean, I've mistyped something, or probably. Inspect the element. Let's just take a quick look at this. Okay, it's definitely C2. It's definitely versus C1. My C2 is 523 pixels wide. What happens if I make it 500 pixels wide? Okay, if I make it 500 pixels wide, it jumps right up there. Let's just make sure that image is as big as I think it is. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, I've got padding on this header. Right, if you look at the header here, I mean, if you're familiar with this, you can see some padding up there on the right and the left. And I've got header padding that I need to get rid of. So if we come back over just to our header definition here, which came with the style, and look at our options and come down to padding, we're going to get rid of, well, we'll leave the top padding in place, but we'll get rid of the left and the bottom padding. And hit save. Save and compile. And refresh. There we go. Now we have it sitting there, right? I think maybe that doesn't want to be centered though. I'm going to bump that over our intro heading. Font settings. Text align left. Okay, so here's our Barking Chihuahua Cafe. We've got that stuff set up. If we come over to a regular page, now we have, you know, the smaller one, and I still need to mess around a little bit with my with my blog skin. So in fact, let's just go ahead and click to edit the blog skin. And in this case now, we're just going to do what we did before. We're going to bring over header columns big, and then header right and header left. And then header left is going to have the header image big, and header right is going to have the nav menu, and the tagline, and the page intro text. We'll take site title, move it away, and then page intro text comes down here, site tagline, nav menu, page intro text. We should be in good shape. Now let's view the site. Let's go to our blog page. Perfect. Okay.